Assemblymember Farah Safrant Forrest, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Dan, for having me.
Of course, anytime. So parole reform is turning out to be one of the big issues for the end of this year's legislative session. There's a lot of bills on the table, like elder parole, fair and timely parole. But I want to talk to you about a bill that you sponsor that we haven't really heard that much about, but it's been around for a couple of years. It's called Less is More. And basically what it would do is it would make it so technical violations of parole wouldn't send somebody back to prison in most cases. Can you explain a little bit about what the bill would do in a little bit more detail than I laid it out?
Right. So this bill, Less is More, is really a bill that looks at the criminal justice system, looks at the incarceration system, and really tries to turn it upside down in a way where we're not penalizing people, but rather incentivizing. That's the root of the bill. This bill eliminates the excessiveness of technical violations. I mean, we're sending back people to prison for things like missing a curfew um, because the train was late or they missed an appointment, but really trying to incentivize people to behave well while on parole and to give them credits, earn time credits. So that way, both the parole officer and the parolee feel like they're working towards a substantial goal.
So you mentioned a few of them, and I think that people just may not know what parole violations are in terms of the technical ones that we're talking about. Can you go through a few of them just so people are familiar with what people are being hit with right now and being sent back to prison under the current law?
Mhm. The technical violations that we're trying to eliminate the reasons why people would go back to prison for is violations such as showing up to a curfew, showing up late to an appointment with your parole officer, curfews, right? If you're out 30 minutes extra, really be going back to jail for that. Also, things like drinking alcohol, which is not a crime for you and I, but for a parolee, yes, that is a big deal. And there are other minor infractions that, we're looking at someone who had a 10, 5, 15-year bid. Getting to somewhere on time could be a little bit more difficult than, let's just say, you and I. So.
So that leads me to my next question, which is people, as I mentioned, just may not be familiar with why this is important and why people care about it. Can you explain the purpose of the bill in terms of how is it going to impact people? How will this help people?
Yes, less is more is very impactful. Less is more would mean that we have an immediate impact on a population of 35,000 people who are currently on parole in New York. Um, we would also have people back in their communities, um, helping out their families, working in jobs. And then also, when we look at the impact on the state, we're talking about $680 million spent shuttling parolees in and out of the prison system. That could be a county out in Long Island, that's like about $14 million. So when we talk about a a bill like this, we're talking about a fiscally responsible bill, but then a restorative bill, a bill that really is about rehabilitation.
I imagine that people that would be opposed to this bill would say something along the lines of, if somebody doesn't want to go back to prison, they just shouldn't commit these technical violations or any violation of parole. What would you say to them?
I think that for someone who sees the criminal justice system as a punishment, would say that. But when we take somebody into the criminal justice system, we're saying that there is hope for them, that they can have a second chance. And so when we build up a system where people are given second chances at being who we think that, citizens that are upstanding, this bill does that. It says that we're going to give you a second chance and we're going to allow you to be human, and we're going to open up opportunities for you to learn and grow versus just penalize you with more time behind bars.
So this is not a new bill. It's been floating around the legislature for a few years. What do you think needs to happen to get more of your colleagues on board and get it across the finish line by the end of this year's session?
I think my colleagues really need to understand that this bill needs to happen right now. Right now, because we have 4 people who died in at Rikers because of technical violations. That means that before they were even convicted or even hearing about whether they committed a new crime, they died, right? But then also, this is how we keep money in our communities. We reinvest that money, that $680 million, to projects that we actually need. So by supporting this bill, you're actually supporting the very communities that you represent.
All right, Assemblymember Ferris of Front Forest, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Dan.